Hi everyone, this is Karen. I can't wait to have you join me with Tori Mellot from Schumacher. I'm just gonna wait for her to join us and right now put a little comment in that says what I'm doing. So hang on a second. So give me a second and I'll be right there. Okay, this is new to me, so bear with me. Alrighty. Tori should be joining us in a minute, hopefully. In the interim, Tori!
Hi.
This worked! Oh my God. I'm so excited that this worked because this
I
is
know.
my first time ever going live. I didn't even know where the live button was.
Hi. Well, you did it. You got it. Well, I have
You're
to
a
tell
pro.
you, this is my first time being interviewed, so I feel like my stand's all wrong. I feel like my background's
join the
all
family.
wrong.
I've tried everything. I'm like, okay, should I be this close? Should I be this close? I have no idea. But anyway, we're here not to talk about us, but to talk about trends and textile trends and Schumacher. So I'm so excited to have you join us. Can you tell me a little bit about, who you are? Because not everybody who's coming in knows who the amazing Tori Mellot is from Schumacher.
Oh, well, thank you. First of all, I am so excited to be here. This was when you made the email connection with me through our CEO, Tamor.
Yeah.
I was so flattered and so honored. So thank you so much for
I
having
am
me.
so flattered.
So I am the style director at Schumacher, but my background is publishing magazines. So for years and years and years, I worked at magazines as an editor. And Dara Caponegro, who is our creative director, who's my boss, she and I had worked at El Decor together. We worked at Domino together, and she brought me on board to Schumacher. So it's like a dream job. First of all, I was very happy to segue out of publishing and into something. Right.
We're not going to tell anyone that, right?
Although I feel like publishing is finding its legs, they're finding their way around. I think that this whole thing has been a good, boost for them. But anyway, Dara brought me on board, and I've always loved Schumacher, and I've been at the company now for almost 2 years, and it's a dream come true, truly and honestly.
So I can tell from your personal post, because I kind of like started stalking you a little bit. That's what we're supposed to do, right? And your posts are so authentic to the brands. And I think that, that really shows that you're that you are in a way the voice behind the brands in terms of the marketing and the messaging. And it's coming through not just professionally, but even on your personal posts as well. Like I loved how you said you went to Cooper Hewitt and looked at 30 wallpaper patterns because you were bored. I was like, oh my God, that's just something I would do.
Well, I was going to say, I've been stalking you too. And and you've had you're really into art. I feel like that's how I feel like we're totally connected, is that you love art. You've had the art expert on, but I actually have a question, if you don't mind.
No, not at all.
So when you asked me to do this, I was kind of thinking, I was like, I wonder how this all came about for you. Like, how did you come up with the idea to start hosting these?
So first of all, this is new. We were on Zoom before, and I had a very formal presentation. It wasn't as conversational, although I was talking to somebody live. And I decided really spur of the moment, last minute, that now is the time to do this trend series. I'd been toying with it for years, literally years. I've written presentations on trends before. I've spoken in front of people at High Point on trends. I write for a blog, and I've been wanting to do this Instagram live series forever. And when COVID hit, I was like, it's now or never, really. All fear aside, it really, COVID put me into a panic, but also at the same time empowered me to actually bring education, knowledge, and to share and connect the resources that I have with design lovers in the trade community. So, to me, trends are not something, they're not fads. And I'd love to know what your perspective is on a trend. So when we bring trends to the public, from my point of view, it's not something that's coming and going. It's more about lifestyle and the way that we live. And that's why I find it so fascinating. So what's your take on it? And how do you guys develop your overall lifestyle trends?
Oh my gosh. Well, so it's interesting that you would ask. We don't really call them trends. So because we think that, you know, things that you're going to buy from Schumacher and patterns that we design are a lot more long lasting than like a trend would be. That, I feel like that's such a dirty word maybe in the design industry. So, you know, we did this a year or so ago or longer, but we kind of established these destinations that we call them.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And we feel like these are the things that we're known for. These are the things that we're good at. And these are the things that like people really need. So we have 5 destinations. You know, we have casual or basics, which everyone needs a basic, from a velvet to a linen to whatever. We have statement pieces. We have casual classics, laid back living, and masterpieces. Now, the ones that we spoke, so let me back up for a minute.
Yeah.
So we have these 5 destinations, and then we launch anywhere between 3 and 5 collections a month. So
wow.
Yes. So within all of those 5 destinations, we can kind of put in, you know, we can put in little, as you called them, little like micro trends, and they sort of slot into those overarching larger trends.
So let's go through that, because I have written down, you have casual classics, right?
Yes.
Then you have masterpieces.
Mm-hmm.
You have handmade. So is handmade, feminine, neutrals, and exuberant, are those like newer micro trends that fall into the 5 macro trends?
Well, so
are those the 5?
Sorry, this is confusing. We'll start. Why don't we start with masterpieces? Because that's one that we talked about. And, you know, I have tons of swatches.
Great.
And masterpieces are something that, you know, it's exactly what it sounds like. It is something that is incredibly well made. Not necessarily a one of a kind, but it can be a one of a kind. I think when we chatted earlier and I was telling you about our, we have this peacock wallpaper.
Yep.
That literally someone like collects these fallen peacock feathers and they glue them on the wall covering. I mean, it is exorbitantly priced and beautiful and absolutely
words here.
but it's absolutely beautiful. Like, it's worth every penny. So, you know, that's something though, while anybody could buy the peacock wallpaper, it is one of a kind in that like somebody is like hand applying all of these little feathers. But here's a great example of one of our masterpieces. This is called our Chevron Strié Velvet. And, you know, it's a cut velvet, and it's just beautifully made. It's very difficult to make. I can't talk about the technical aspects as much as our design director, Pam Marshall, could, but I just know that when you feel it, it's like heaven on earth. So we have a lot of these masterpieces. Another one, oh, this is another cut velvet that's absolutely beautiful. This is our Pavone velvet.
So that's
and
like right?
I wish you could feel this. It is silk, and well, it's actually not, oh, I'm sorry. I am mistaken. It is actually a viscose cotton blend, but my goodness, it is the softest thing you've ever felt. It feels exactly like silk. But again, this construction is very difficult to do. I feel like these are in your color palette. You use a lot of neutrals.
We use a lot of neutrals with color pops. But how do you think masterpiece, given that it's one of a kind, the price point is higher, they're all artisan made, and they're so highly skilled, and they're pieces of art, really. Each fabric, like, you could basically take some of these fabrics and frame it like a Chanel scarf, and it's a piece of art on the wall.
You could. Now, they're not all one of a kind. I mean, you know, we sell yardage, so it's being made over and over and over again. But I would say it's more about like the construction, the design behind it, and also the artistry. Like, for instance, this is actually one of our most intricate fabrics. This is called Jerry embroidery, and I wish that you could see this. There are all of these different sort of constructions going on here, and this is an absolutely beautiful, beautiful fabric. So something like this is so special. I wish I could like send it through to you.
I see it as like this trend, or this destination, as you put it. it's like you're telling a story with each piece of fabric. How do you see this fitting into the environment that we're in now that we're in a COVID pandemic environment, which hopefully will change one day? But how do you see this working itself into the way people are thinking today?
Well, that's a really interesting question, because I think one thing that has emerged from all of this is people realize how important the home is. We don't know what this new world is going to look like. We don't know if we're going to start spending even more time indoors going forward. I mean, I think that's all to be determined, and nobody has a crystal ball, and I don't think we can really predict what the future will be. But I think from how we've experienced it so far, we do know that home is incredibly important, and making your home beautiful, comfortable, functional is just it's of the utmost importance.
Yes.
So, I don't think that most Americans are going to run and buy a masterpiece, but I do think for the people who want to make that kind of investment in their home, I think it's something that you'd want to look at every day, and it sort of be a statement piece, and to be something really special to be looked at like that.
Yeah, I agree. And they're all, they really, I think, just like how when you said I collect art, and I was saying that they tell a story, that these are coming from such different inspiration sources that it's very personalized for each person in terms of what they're attracted to and how to bring it into their home and incorporate it in a special way to then communicate a story about their vision.
Totally. So, and I feel like I misspoke. I mean, who am I to say that not every American would want a masterpiece? I mean, maybe I hope everyone actually has been spending so much time in their homes that they're like, you know what? I really want one beautiful, beautiful thing to look at every day that brings me joy in a very small way.
So moving on, I know we have 4 other amazing trends. And Schumacher, I should back up for a minute and correct me if I'm wrong, but from my perspective, Schumacher is known for, your iconic prints, right?
Definitely.
All these, I actually have them sitting here. These amazing, this is the wall covering book.
You have some too. Wait,
I have the wall covering book. I have the Library of Prints. Then I got another one, and they're beautiful. They're coffee table books, but you really are known for your prints across the board, whether it's modern, abstract, historical, or one of these destination trends. Speaking of prints, what one of the 4 other trends that we haven't really touched on do you think are incorporating the most of your iconic style?
Oh, yes. So our iconic style is really about, that's probably like statement pieces, exuberant pieces. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it's things that we're known for. For instance, it would be something like our pine hollyhock. I mean, I feel like everybody knows us for this pattern.
Uh-huh.
It's something that's quintessential Schumacher. It's happy, it's fun, it makes a statement, it's colorful, it's so easy to use. We have a lot of coordinates, wallpaper fabric, which I feel like is a trend that's actually like a decorating trend that's coming back. Using these
right, tone on top, like pattern on pattern on pattern.
Exactly.
That one pattern on top of another pattern, that's all the same, but in different scales, but in the same color. So your whole room looks like it's plastered with the same thing, right?
Yes.
That was
exactly.
a very big 80s movement, I think. Like
What'd
the
you
late
say?
80s, a very big 80s design movement, huge.
Totally 80s. I feel like it's a throwback to that, but I feel like people are doing it in a really fresh way.
Cocooning.
Yes, exactly. But now I'm curious, as a designer, who you've been doing this a while, how do you view Schumacher? Like when you think of Schumacher, what do you think of?
I think of rich, definitely the prints, rich and saturated colors, and like you said, statement pieces, but color stories. You have a very strong color palette. That's why I'm attracted to Schumacher, I think, because even though we use neutrals, we pop color, and we, that's our, we're not oversaturated in color, but we use it in small ways, but we definitely pop that burst. And for Schumacher, when I'm looking for something special, I go to Schumacher. So, you know, when you presented the trends to me, exuberant was definitely one of the ones. I don't know if you have any other fabrics for that to back up.
Oh, I have so many. I have a whole basket. I wish I could show you. I ordered all of these fabrics from our warehouse, which has been open this whole time. We have been so lucky in that our warehouse has been able to ship memos the whole time. But this is another beauty. Oh, I'm getting some light through there. But this is our Zanzibar linen print, which is overscale. It's oh my gosh, it's just so dreamy. It's beautiful. I think everyone's probably seen a lot of images of it. Some other ones that I have are
I brought similar. I love your eye
look, that's the Daria by Martin Lawrence Ballard. That is so good. That's such a good one.
Yeah.
Do you use that a lot?
Yeah, we love your eye cast. I love this print, and I love that print. But even moving beyond like exuberant and these pops and bursting with color and saturation, you have another trend that's interesting, because I see this in my market, and I'm seeing it with the younger millennials, and we call it the grand millennial trend that I think House Beautiful named it, but you call it your feminine neutrals. So yes, it's kind of like this turning back to embracing pretty and floral and chinoiserie. And tell me some of the other prints and patterns and how you're seeing, and maybe even like an Art Nouveau movement coming into it a little bit with soft rounded edges. So how do you see that trend, and how is Schumacher interpreting it?
Well, it's definitely Emma Bazillion, who I believe that she coined that phrase, grand millennial, which I just read about it again today in the Washington Post. But
it's brilliant.
I know, but it's so true. It's like, it's all of these chintzes, these beautiful, beautiful chintzes. And I love this one. I picked this one out especially.
I love that one.
I know, this is gorgeous. When I open it up, I get too much light behind it. But this is Talitha embroidery. This comes in a couple of different colorways. It's absolutely beautiful. You know, there's also, this is another one that we're known for that kind of like straddles the line. This is our Lotus Garden, which I'm sure you've seen a million times, which honestly, I think this is my favorite. I never, ever tire of this one. And this, we just recolored this, and it comes in so many fabulous new colors. I don't think that, oh, here's one of the newer colors. It's so fun. Oh, it's like, it's like soft, organic, sort of curvaceous lines.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that more than anything, I think that there will be a return to traditional. I felt like we were already going, like you said, in that way. But there's something about traditions that feel very safe and are very comforting, and that people sort of latch onto in times of trouble. So I think that is going to reemerge as like a really strong trend. Now, how about you? Are you already getting requests from your clients?
Yes. So it's not coming from my generation as much. They're still trying to get rid of beige and maybe still, you know, a little bit more transitional and modern. But the younger generation, our younger client, is 100% going more traditional, and also embracing florals and ruffles and embroidery and use of chintz, like you said, and then basically bringing in a softer, you know, it can go soft or it can go wild in color, but it's the overall patterning that I'm seeing return, as well as some of the furniture styles, and just the acceptance of heritage, you know, and family heirlooms that they don't want to get rid of, and how to incorporate that into their whole environment, because it does have meaning. And it
does. And when I was stalking you, I saw on your Instagram that one of your clients, you were like, this person had a premonition before anyone coined this term, because they wanted a space where they could sort of show off all of their family heirlooms.
Yeah.
And it was like I think it was like a big case of sorts.
Yeah, it was a china cabinet.
Yeah, it looked beautiful.
Thank you.
And I feel like your style, you use a lot of pastels, like neutrals and pastels, like, but I feel like your style is very clean and modern. Is this like throwing you off? These requests?
I think we will be the clean modern millennial, you know, grand millennial take on it. But no, it's not throwing me off, because you know, design is about the principles of design and form, and how you're balancing the whole body of work. And so we have an aesthetic that isn't overly cluttered, but at the same time, we can design to that aesthetic in any tradition or in any movement.
Totally. I feel like from looking at your work, I feel like scale is always really important. Scale and proportion, like feeling that balance, you know?
Balance is huge. And really listening to the client and embracing what they want to incorporate into their home. So if somebody came to me and they really have a heavily traditional, penchant, we will not ignore that. But most of the time they're going to come to us because they're attracted to something else, which is, basically being able to balance the new with the old. And that's what we do, the blends. That's what we do really well. So I know we didn't also touch on one of my favorite trends, which I think also is really probably the most universal of them all. And what I feel even outside of this traditional trend is what my clients are asking for 100%, which is casual classics. Yes. So explain to me, I loved how you described that trend. How would you define casual classics?
So I feel like, and Schumacher, we feel like,
sure?
we sort of define that trend. People the last 25 years have really started living a lot differently. Like, as you know, because you're a designer, floor plans are different. People have been requesting it definitely for the past 15 years, open floor plans. And, people are living more casually. They're living with pets and not that they didn't live with babies before, but they're less precious with babies and they're less precious with things. And people want to really live in their homes. And,
yes.
you know that. I mean, they want to be able to have the dog up on the sofa, and they want to be able to have the kids run around and not worry about, I feel like when I was growing up, there was like a room that was like, do not go in this room.
Of course. Yes.
Yeah. And now it's totally the opposite. People they want their families to feel comfortable. And so casual classics for us, that could mean, something high performance, something that's well wearing, and also something that just is easy. It's easy to live with. It's, linen, cotton, a soft print. I have some examples of.
So would you define this trend as American? Is this an American trend?
Gosh, I think we did talk about this, and I don't think that this is the Schumacher party line, but I would say that
we can make it Schumacher's party line, right?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they'd want to officially brand anything as like American. I think we want to appeal to everyone, but I think you're right. I mean, I think it is a very American way of living. Not that Europeans don't live with dogs and babies, because of course they do, but I just feel like there's a casualness about how we as Americans really live today. It's easy,
Is there a color story that's associated with this trend, or is it really about fabrics and layering and ease of material, or is there a color palette as well that's associated with it?
Oh, good question. Obviously we offer all of our SKUs in so many different colors, but I think that people who decorate this way and clients who are attracted to this style, I think that blue and white is always a winner.
You got me on that.
Yeah. It's like a universal, you cannot go wrong with blue and white ever. It's just so beloved. I mean, I don't want to make a general blanket statement and say that everyone would do that, but I really think that people they just love blue and white. It's such a classic combo. How about you? Do you find that with clients? Like, do they love that combo?
We love blue. And I think that's kind of clear in our work. So I think, just instinctually, we use a lot of blue. But yeah, blue is bar none. It's a universally accepted color, and there's so many different shades of it. And with this year being, Pantone's color of the year in blue, it's even more popular than ever. What do you see, like, in terms of the performance fabrics? There's been Krypton, and now I know we have Inside Out. What are some of the other performance fabrics that are coming up? Are there any new ones that will be introduced? And how is the hand on them? Are they becoming softer? Is there new technology that's being infused into any of the materials?
So I cannot speak to the technical aspects. That is really, I would need to dial in my my lifeline, my Pam Marshall. She's the director of our design studio. She knows all about the construction. But I will say this, when I started in this industry as an editor, I was somewhere in High Point and I was feeling outdoor fabric, and it was like slick and itchy and hard. And I was literally like, I can't, and I have actually like sensory things, like, I don't know, I have like weird sensory things. And I was like, I cannot touch this fabric. It is grossing me out so much. And I got to tell you, the technology, I don't know what they're putting in it. I don't know how, I don't know how they are manufacturing or making it. I know that we work with some mills in France and in Italy that are the top of the line mills for outdoor construction. And oh my goodness, we have a linen. We have an indoor outdoor linen that I am telling you is softer than a regular linen. It is incredible. I wish I knew the name of it. I feel like it's called, is it Finn? I think it's Finn, F-I-N.
I'll jot that one down. I'm sure we have it, but.
Yeah, I'm sure you have it too, but we'll send it to you if you don't. But I have to tell you, you know, even if you just go on the Schumacher website and you search it, we have a drop down with indoor, outdoor, and you just put in linen. It is so incredible and amazing how far the technology has come.
I know.
Like, oh, it's so funny. I was reading on Instagram the other day, someone had posted a white sofa and was like, something about like, oh, that's a really great idea until like a kid comes in the room. And I was, of course, reading the comments like I do. And somebody was like, are you kidding me? This is the age of like the best indoor outdoor fabric, like white forever. You can put white on anything now.
Absolutely. I mean, I have white sofas and kids, and we finally started putting white sofas in our designs, and I'm like, oh, thank God, it looks so much better.
So much better.
Not being a design snob, and I'm like, oh, the picture looks so much better. Thank you, white sofas. Anyway, so
Karen,
not that I'm against other sofas, but they look great in photos. So I know there's one more trend I think we didn't touch on, which was handmade, right? And you were telling me this amazing story about how you're discovering artists and bringing that into the future of your designs. So tell me a little bit about that.
We are. This is so exciting. This is, I would say, one of the most exciting things at Schumacher happening is that we have been working with artists and artisans to create these collections where, you know, many of the things are handmade. And we just launched, there's a woman named Molly Marn.
Yeah.
She's available in the UK and has been for, I think like 10 years or so, but she did not have a distributor in the US. So we partnered with her and launched her collection over here. And all of these are hand blocked in India. I mean, they are so beautiful.
They're beautiful.
You can, I think what's so special about all of these artisan collections is that you can really see the human touch. And I think that is what people are craving now more than ever. It's like, I want to touch you because I haven't touched, you know, I haven't hugged anyone. And, you know.
I agree, right? We're going to hug our fabrics instead, I think.
Exactly. No, but we, you know, this is the latest in one of many to come. We have so many exciting collaborations coming up. And another one we just launched is called a Rum Fellow. And these are all handmade by a group of female artisans. I mean, they literally like bring their babies to work and like hand loom these on trees in the middle of a rainforest. I mean, it's absolutely incredible.
Wow.
It is. It's so special.
I feel like the more we can't go anywhere, the more we want to bring in global inspirations. And like I said previously, you know, basically fabrics and things in our home that have a story that tell us of this, that remind us of escape. Right?
Totally. And I think what you're saying is the story is so important. People want to feel connected. You know, they want to feel like there is another human at the end of this memo sample. And I think that that's what this is doing.
So what countries, I think somebody has a question, like, do you have any specific go-to countries that you source your fabrics from, or where you're finding this inspiration? Is it India? What other, I know you mentioned India before. Where else are you finding the inspiration from?
It is honestly is global. We are working with some artists in the US. We just launched a collection with an artist named Jackie Gendel. And Jackie is represented by, so this is, wait, I'm going to try to make this fast. There are two women. One is Chandra Johnson, who's married to the race car driver, Jimmy Johnson. Okay. One is Barry Benson, who's a decorator. Barry decorated one of Chandra's homes. They launched a company called Peg Norris. I know this is so hard to follow. They launched and they cultivate these artists, right? Oh, cool. So yes, it's very cool. And we collaborated with Peg Norris to launch these artisan collections. So we just launched it with Jackie Gendel. It's on the website now. It's so cool. It's so amazing. It's her like little line drawings.
Ooh, so are they licensing basically these artists, and like you're the textile license, and then they're going to license the artist to pottery and then to other?
No. I don't think it's a license. I can't speak to that. That would be, I don't know who brokered those deals, but I don't think
I don't know why I'm asking that, but I was just curious how that was working, because the artists for you could then represent so many other like categories.
Yeah, I don't know like the copyright.
Because you're finding them, like you're bringing these designers to life, and they're to life.
I think the designs that they design for our fabrics might be just for Schumacher. I would have to double check on that, but I don't think it's a situation where we are like buying an artist's work and then like putting it everywhere. I mean, I think the whole point of these were to be like really, really special.
So just a few more questions to wrap up. If you, like, do you think there's a historical reference that is going to come back into, because we talked about traditional, you know, previously, that's going to come back into play as like a motif, like is toile back, is, I know, I don't probably saying it wrong, but the fatul, F-A-T-E-U-L technique for wallpaper. We've seen chinoiserie. Like what do you see as the next traditional reference coming back into the market? And
that is a great question. I definitely think, as I mentioned earlier, a return to tradition. So I do think that we will probably see toiles and more chintzes and things like that. I mean, what do you think? I mean, you have your like finger on the pulse too. What do you think?
That's true. You know, I've seen like William Morris come up a bit, and I don't really think that trend is taking. It's very earthy and sagey and dark. I feel like the Art Nouveau trends, the beau arts a little bit. You know, it's been very heavy on like graphic Art Deco, so maybe a softer interpretation of that moving forward, because it's prettier. And I think that if you are in your home for this long, you know, while we want to personalize it and make it ours, we also want to make it livable for most people.
Totally.
So probably patterns and colors that are livable and have longevity and have had longevity in time. Yeah. So like you said,
and happiness. I think everyone is dying to feel happy.
Absolutely. But those pops of happy, like, you know, color pops that are strong, or words or inspirational words, or things that maybe are like literal interpretations of happy, maybe that goes in smaller spaces.
Totally.
Right.
I love your use. You know, I was noticing, you will use, like, I love how you do like a whole foundation of like neutrals. And then I've seen like a really happy pink. I'm so into pink. I'm a pink lover.
I kind of love pink too, but I never knew I loved pink until I turned 40. Well, now I'm older than that, but anyway, no, we love bringing color into the equation and marrying colors, but always grounding it with a strong neutral. So one other question, what do you think for Schumacher, if you were to name, based out of this COVID pandemic environment that we're in now, if there was one movement going forward, one destination going forward that you haven't created, what would it be? Oh my God, I'm killing you, aren't I? I did not email you that one, did I?
Well, I feel like I feel like that's a Dara Pam question. I just take their beautiful designs and then I market the heck out of it.
And you are a good marketer and a good wordsmith.
Well, thank you. But you know,
okay, throw that back to her and then I would love to hear the answer.
Yeah, I'm going to ask Dara because I feel like I can't make an educated guess about that. I mean, I will say this. I think the home industry, this is my personal opinion, I think the home industry, when all this started, got hit really hard. I feel like there was a hard stop on everything. Like everything just came to a screeching halt and we really got slammed at the beginning. But I think that we are about to like open up like a tulip and just, I think people are going to be decorating. I think that they're going to be wanting refreshes. I think that they're going to be buying home goods. Like,
I agree. There's not enough of them to be found. I mean, it's like there's like a dearth in the industry. So we need product.
I know. Well, we've still been cranking out the product. We have been so fortunate. I mean, we got tapped on the head with the lucky stick a little bit. I mean, we've also been working very hard, but we really lucked out in a lot of ways that some of our manufacturers didn't close. So they've been able to ship product.
You're very lucky.
So lucky. Our warehouse in South Carolina never closed. We have been shipping orders and shipping memos this whole time. We're so safely, of course, safely. We're not like endangering anyone's life. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my questions for you. Do you have anything else that you want to add? Or I think we covered mostly everything, right?
I have a question that I love to ask every decorator.
Okay.
And designer. So what are, like, if you had to name like 2 do's and 2 don'ts for every project that you approach, like what are your 2 do's and 2 don'ts?
So this is technical, but we are very, very big on space planning. So a to-do for us is always measure the space and lay it out first. We don't just like wing it. I'd say we also are very, very consistency of look, feel for the space is a really important to do for us, so that we're not all over the place, and creating that design vision for the client so that they're not, it's not ad hoc. We don't do anything ad hoc in our office. It's totally, I mean, I'm not going to say that we can't bring in surprises at the end, but we don't pull triggers on things until it's fully designed, because it can spiral out of control. So we may start with a Schumacher fabric, and that's the beginning, and this stays the whole time, but then and other things weave itself in and out, and it changes and it layers and it moves while we're designing. But we will not like actually say, okay, go, until we know we have it. So the planning of it is really, really important. Don'ts. I mean, I think following what other people do is a big don't. You have to really learn what your aesthetic is. Like sometimes people say to me, well, my whole house is like now going to be blue and I don't want blue in every room. And I'm thinking to myself, but if you really like the color, what difference does it make? You know? So you can have a whole blue house. In fact, my house is probably all blue and white, and that's totally fine with me, with little mixes of things in between. So embracing who you are and what your style is and really accepting it. And that's our role as a designer, to educate and help the client really learn that, and design to them and to that feel. And then following rules. Like there really are no design rules. There are, in terms of, there's principles. There's good form, there's good balance, there's form lining up, there's spatial relations like we just discussed. But if you want to break a rule and there's a reason for it, go for it. There's no reason not to. So those are my do's and don'ts.
I love that. I feel like your do's and don'ts are very, I feel like decoration is it's such a giant leap for clients. Ooh. Like they have to trust so much.
Big time trust.
So much trust. But I feel like all of your do's and don'ts kind of give them like the little cocoon where they feel safe. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And I think we make I mean, I'm not here to talk about me, but I do think we make our clients feel safe. So, because we have so many processes in place to enable, you know, the process to move along in a way that they feel like they can trust and they can see, and we collaborate. Like right now, I've been doing Zoom meetings and I put everything into mood boards. And if a client doesn't like something, I physically take it out with them, drop something else in, and show them on the computer while we're on the phone on Zoom how it works, why it doesn't work. And then we probably go back to the original anyway. But you know what I mean? So they're able to see the process and learn at the same time. And we work that way. We work very collaboratively with people because we're not the be all end all. It is a collaborative project. It's their home. It's not mine. And I'm not there to impose my, you know, my rules or my vision on them only. It has to be a combined vision with us as like the design leader, we're their design advocates, really, at the end of the day. Guiding them through this whole world of who to buy from, like Schumacher, and who not to buy from.
Yes. And we feel like we're the design leaders for fabrics. We're like, we have the good stuff. You should come to us.
You do have the good stuff. I mean, and truthfully, and this is technical and this is trade talk, but with Durley and Robert Allen no longer in the game, there's less to choose from as well. And so in a way, the other players are getting a lot more attention and a lot more use as well in more of an everyday way, right? So like a product that maybe before wouldn't have been a Schumacher go-to for me, like an outdoor stripe, maybe it came from a line otherwise, but now I will go to Schumacher first, along with a few others. So your go-to destination.
We are the destination.
There you have it. I just created your tagline. Well, it was so nice to speak to you. I love this. I love talking about business. I love talking about design, and I love talking about trends. So anytime, if you, even outside of this forum, you want to run something by me, feel free.
Karen, thank you so much. This was so much fun. I loved getting to show off Schumacher product. That was a treat.
Thank you.
They look so pretty. Where are you, by the way? It looks so pretty where you are.
I'm in my studio, and I decided to sit in front of my window to get some natural light.
Although
somebody wrote in the comment, put some window trees.
Well, guess what? I know somebody
I thought that was
give
really
you some
funny.
fabric
No,
for that.
It's a client, but I thought that was hysterical. And I was like, maybe I should. But we like the light. We need the light. That's how we've seen it.
It looks beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun.
All right. Bye.
Okay.
Enjoy
bye,
Pennsylvania.
everyone. Bye.
Bye. Okay. I have to figure out how to end this. End. Okay.